Hey, we're back. It's been a while since I've done one of these because I've been doing a lot of traveling over the summer. But it's wrapping up, and here we are home on a Saturday morning. So I'm going to give you an update on the Gemini 1/24th scale Revell kit that I'm super detailing. So let's take a look at what we've done since the last time. And we're going to... I can't find the old videos. Someone's going to have to tell me where old videos are stored on Facebook, because I was going to look to see what I did last, but I can't find it. So anyway, so here are the ejection seats. They're mostly finished. This is with the LVM photo etch kit, plus a few other things. I added some Aves epoxy seat pads, survival kit, some straps out of wine bottle lead, kind of floating around. Took some lead wire, wrapped it around another piece of wire, and made some of the oxygen lines, and just some tape around a piece of wire for the electrical line. This eventually gets connected to the umbilical, because I'm going to do an Ed White EVA with this detailed seat. You can see I added the foot stirrups, added some tape and padding on the headrest. The other seat is less detailed because there will be a astronaut sitting in it. I think I'm just going to clean up the kit astronaut and put him in there, because you won't be able to see very much of it. So that's going to be the seats. So then I start working on the rest of the interior, and a lot of it is a matter of making sure everything is going to fit. So we're working on the instrument panel, and LVM gives you some photo etch, which I've started to play with. Actually, some of those pieces are back in the bag because I decided not to use them. They give you some photo etch for the panels, and then in the instructions, which are rather confusing, they update it and say, no, never mind, don't use the photo etch. Use our resin parts. Okay, they give you a nice resin part, but frankly, the detail engraved on these resin parts, and they even give you side panels, which aren't in the kit, is not as nice. It's what's on the kit part. So I just went with the kit part, and this is where we are so far. I took some photos of the instrument panels, well, not this one, but other ones, and shrunk them down and made them into decals, and used those on some of the instruments. And the other ones, the switches and stuff, they're raised enough, so I went ahead and just used what was there, and I'm happy with that. I mean, by the time you get that in the thing, with an astronaut in the way and the door open, this is good enough. This is one of these. It's adding a lot of detail, but it's also, at some point, good enough is good enough. Otherwise, they're never finished. Now, there's some. They give you a resin part for this handrail that goes across here, but frankly, it doesn't really fit right. So I'm going to use a little piece of wire, and I'll paint that up. So this is coming along. One of the tricky parts is all this stuff has to fit. So everything's going to be kind of dry fit until it's all ready to go together, because I'm afraid I may have to cut this apart. There's also a panel down here below the center line, and even inside here that's going to show. So I decided to add this little bit of paneling in the center console. Now this is, so what I did is took a second kit and just glued together the cockpit area. Obviously these seats aren't going to be here, but I wanted to do some test fitting to see how this all goes together. So you can see the panel in there will cover that center up. I don't need one on that side because you're not going to see it. So I got to see how this is going to fit with the ejection seats. It's going to be real interesting. And then I'm just going to dry fit everything and use this as sort of a test module. So this is now starting to come together. It's got little side pieces, you can see these even, for those side panel switches, and actually they show up. Those are those panels here on this side and this side. And they've got the little protector bars over them, which I'm probably going to make out of this. I'm going to go ahead and add that. But now the trick is, with these, I want to add some switches. They give you a piece of steel wire, which is like impossible to cut. So I gotta go find some fine lead wire that I can cut cleanly. It's soft enough with an X-Acto or something. Oh, here's the overhead panel. If you recall, the overhead panel in the kit has this funny grill pattern because those are the actual switch protectors. And of course you can't see it. You know, here's my old one I did when I was 10. All you can see is the little top of that. You can't see anything in there. But here's the photo etch part over this once it's been trimmed off. Again, you won't see much. I probably won't even put switches in those little holes. I'll come up with something that's decent enough. But you see, once this is open, you're not going to see a whole lot in there. You can see that there's an opening, so I did want to clean that up. And the other astronaut, you're not going to see much. I'll put the side panel in there, but it's not going to be very visible. So, working on the interior, I got the Max Scruter's Shapeways at white. I put some primer on them. So that's gonna come up later. But anyway, working on the interior so I can get this all together, see how this all fits, and we'll go from there. So that's where I am, a little at a time, and stay tuned, and I'll be posting some still photos. You can check that out at the Space and Miniature page. Thanks very much.